Two Chinese-American women. Two Olympic sports. Two completely different choices about who to represent. And one of them is still getting absolutely destroyed for it. The 2025 Milan Winter Olympics ended over a week ago. But the controversy around freestyle skier Eileen Gu, that hasn't gone anywhere. And now, Olympic gold medalist Alysa Liu has stepped into the fire, and what she said stopped people cold. Because she didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't play both sides. She called it exactly what it is. Stick around, because this one goes deeper than you think. Let's start from the beginning, because context matters here. Eileen Gu, full name Eileen Gu, is, by every measurable standard, one of the greatest freestyle skiers who has ever lived. She is the most decorated freestyle skier in Olympic history. Let that sink in for a second. The most decorated. Ever. She was born in San Francisco, California. She grew up there. She was trained there. She lives there. By every geographic and cultural marker, she is American. But she competes for China. Her mother is Chinese, and back in 2019, when Gu was just a teenager, she made the decision to switch her athletic representation from the United States to China. At the time, that decision didn't exactly make front-page news. But once she started winning, and winning big, suddenly everyone had an opinion. At the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, Gu won 2 golds and a silver. She became a superstar in China overnight. Magazine covers, brand deals, sold-out arenas, the whole thing. And then the criticism started. Some Americans felt betrayed. Some felt confused. Others were just flat-out angry. Social media lit up with accusations. That she was disloyal, that she was chasing money, that she was turning her back on the country that raised her. Gu has never really shied away from explaining herself. In a recent interview with Time magazine, she put it plainly. The United States, she said, already has so many inspirational athletes. So many voices, so many champions, so much representation. China gave her the chance to build something different. To be the person rather than one of many. I like building my own pond, she said. And honestly, that's a pretty clear answer. Whether you agree with it or not, you can't say she hasn't been transparent. Fast forward to Milan. The 2026 Winter Olympics. Eileen Gu is back on the world stage, and she performs. Again. This time she walks away with 2 silver medals and 1 gold. Still elite. Still among the very best in the world. But the backlash came right back with her. The same questions resurfaced. The same anger. The same accusations. Only this time it felt louder. Maybe because the conversation around national identity and athletic representation has gotten bigger in the years since Beijing. Maybe because people had more time to sit with their frustration and let it fester. Whatever the reason, Gu found herself at the center of a firestorm again. And this time, some of the criticism wasn't just pointed, it was personal. It was cruel. It crossed a line from disagreement into something that looked a lot more like targeted harassment. That's when someone else stepped into the conversation. Alysa Liu is 20 years old. She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in figure skating. She is, without question, one of the most talented skaters of her generation. She's also Chinese-American. Born in Clovis, California. Raised in Oakland. She and Eileen Gu actually grew up just across the bay from each other, Gu in San Francisco, Liu in Oakland. Their paths crossed long before any Olympics. They've known each other for roughly 7 years. There's a real friendship there. So when Alysa Liu saw what was happening to Eileen Gu online and in the press, she didn't stay quiet. In an interview with the New York Times, Liu said something that has since been shared thousands of times. I think people are hypocritical for shaming her for representing China. And then she said the part that really hit. Y'all would have told her to go back to China. Now that she's in China, you're mad. Read that again. Because there's a lot packed into those 2 sentences. What Liu is pointing to is the impossible standard that so many Asian Americans, and particularly Chinese Americans, are held to in this country. The go back to your country rhetoric that is thrown at them when they're seen as too Chinese. And then the sudden outrage when someone actually embraces a connection to China. The goalpost never stops moving. The criticism never stops coming. No matter what choice is made, there's always someone ready to condemn it. Liu isn't saying everyone has to agree with Gu's choice. She's saying the framing of the criticism reveals something ugly, something worth examining. And that's really what this whole thing is about, isn't it? It's not just about skiing. It's not even just about Eileen Gu specifically. It's about identity. It's about belonging. It's about what we expect from athletes, especially athletes from minority backgrounds, and whether those expectations are fair. Think about how this question gets asked of Asian American athletes specifically. They're often asked to prove their loyalty, to demonstrate their Americanness in ways that other athletes simply aren't. And if they show any connection to another country, a country where their family comes from, a country they love, it becomes a scandal. Eileen Gu has never claimed to be something she isn't. She's been upfront. She has deep ties to China through her mother. She saw an opportunity to build a legacy there that felt bigger and more meaningful to her personally, and she took it. That's a completely human decision. People make choices like that all the time in sports. Athletes change national representation for all kinds of reasons. It happens in tennis, in soccer, in swimming. Nobody loses their mind over it. But when it's a Chinese-American woman choosing China, suddenly it becomes a national crisis. There's a double standard at work here, and Alysa Liu named it loudly in one of the most widely read sports publications in the world. So where does everything stand now? Eileen Gu left Milan with 3 more Olympic medals to her name. She's still the most decorated freestyle skier in history. She's still living in the United States. She's still doing interviews, still doing brand work, still, by every indication, living life exactly the way she wants to. The controversy hasn't disappeared. Probably won't for a while. These kinds of debates have a long shelf life, especially when they tap into something as emotionally charged as national identity. But what Alysa Liu did, what she chose to do by speaking publicly, matters. She didn't have to say anything. She just won 2 gold medals. She could have stayed in celebration mode, done the victory lap, avoided anything messy. Instead, she used her platform. She backed up a friend. She said something uncomfortable and true. That takes a different kind of courage. Not the kind you need on the ice, but the kind that's harder to train for. Alysa Liu, Eileen Gu, 2 Chinese-American women from the Bay Area. 2 Olympians. 2 very different sports. One shared experience of navigating identity in a country that still hasn't fully figured out how to hold space for people who carry more than one world inside them. Whatever you think about the choice Eileen Gu made, and people are going to keep debating it, the conversation Alysa Liu started is one worth having. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know where you stand on this one. And if this video gave you something to think about, you know what to do, hit that subscribe button. More stories like this are coming. I'll see you in the next one.